Hi, I wanted to take just a few moments to show you around our course so that you understand how things work and some basic information that will be relevant to your success in this course. First and foremost, this is a fully online course, which means that you will do all of your work online and that we as a class will not work together or meet together in a synchronous, all together fashion. That said, I am available to meet with you through Zoom. I provided a Zoom link as well as my office hours, which are Monday through Friday, 12 to 2 p.m. I've also included my Atlas email address, as well as my office phone number and my office location. However, the best way to contact me is through Canvas inbox, and then we can set up a Zoom meeting as you would like. I'm always happy to meet with you. The next thing I'd like to show you is the syllabus. So when you go to the syllabus, you will see lots of information. I want to point out a few things to you. I mentioned office hours a moment ago. I talked through that more specifically here about how if you would like to meet with me via Zoom, we can do that from 12 to 2 on Monday through Friday. So any of your Monday through Friday days, I'm happy to meet with you. But I do ask that you contact me a day in advance via Canvas inbox to arrange the meeting so that I know I need to be on Zoom at a specific time between 12 and 2. Additionally, I strongly encourage you when preparing for major essays to schedule a Zoom conference with me. Because of this 6-week expedited course schedule, I've not built in a place for you to submit a rough draft before you submit your final draft and so that you can submit a rough draft and peer review, that sort of thing. So if you would like feedback on your essay, I strongly encourage you to schedule a Zoom conference with me the week that you're working on the essay, or to use our online tutoring that Valencia offers, which I will provide you lots of information about that as we move toward essays, which are still a little while off. And then finally, I wanted to note that I know that a Zoom meeting might not fit into your schedule, but I am always available through Canvas messages. I also want to make the point that even though my office hours are from 12 to 2, Monday through Friday, if you can't meet with me during that time frame, but would like to otherwise meet with me, I will absolutely try my best to accommodate your schedule within reason. I do want you to know that Fridays is the end of my work week. Saturday and Sunday, I usually reserve for time with my family. That said, if there's a pressing matter, please know that I do monitor email and I will occasionally meet with a student over the weekend, but it kind of needs to be for a pressing concern. As far as the course outcomes for this course, it's really going to be an expansion of what you learned in ENC 1101. So we're still using that multi-stage research process to produce essays. We're composing a written argument. We will apply conventions aligned to varied writing situations. We will document source materials in accordance with at least one documentation style. For this class, that will be MLA 9. And then we will apply critical reading skills. So we're going to have lots of reading and writing. It's a composition course. That certainly would make sense to you. For textbook, you will use the Valencia Reader, which is an online open educational resource that is totally free to you. Additionally, I will be providing you with details and material to supplement that as well. I provided some links about distance tutoring and the Ask a Librarian source and Canvas resources. I encourage you to have a look over those as you have time. A couple of important dates. Our semester starts on May 8th. It ends June 19th. The withdrawal deadline, where you can withdraw from the course without a penalty to your GPA, is June 9th. The college is closed May 29th, so you will not have any assignments due that day. That's in observance of Memorial Day. I've also provided you with a variety of policies. I do want to highlight a few. Academic honesty is doing anything that is cheating, whether that's plagiarism, just general cheating, using AI services such as ChatGPT, furnishing false information, forgery, alteration or misuse of documents, even plagiarizing yourself where you resubmit an assignment from a previous class. Those are all considered academic honesty violations. If you were to be found to be engaging in any of these activities, the first time it happens, you would get a 0 on the assignment. If it happened a second time, you would get a final grade in the course of an F. The next thing I want to draw your attention to is the attendance policy. This is an online class, so we obviously don't take attendance in the same way we might in a face-to-face or mixed mode class, but you are expected to be active in class. If you go an entire week without submitting work, I will be reaching out to you, but I do want to emphasize this is a 6-week course. If you go a whole week without submitting assignments, you're likely going to be very behind. So it's very important that you stay up to date with your assignments. However, if you do run into an issue where you miss an assignment, you can refer to the late work makeup policy. For summative assessments, and for this class is going to be assignments that are worth 10 points or more, they may be submitted up to 24 hours past the due date without penalty. After that time frame is passed, you will get an additional time period where you can submit work for a penalty. As for formative assignments, they generally will not be accepted late. And then all of that said, in the event of an emergency, something comes up, I don't even need to know what it is. If you communicate with me immediately, I will likely grant an extension. I will grant up to 3 per student over the course of the term. So if you need an extension, please reach out to me. I do understand that things happen. And if there's something even more pressing that you need more than a third extension, maybe you need a 4th, we can talk about that case by case. No guarantees, but it's certainly something that we can talk about. The next thing I want to talk to you about is documentation of sources. I mentioned earlier we'll use MLA9. I provided you a link to Purdue and their online writing lab, which does a great job of providing resources for citing properly. This is a points-based class. The total number of points that you can earn is 100. So even when something only looks like it's 5 points, that's a huge chunk of your grade. If you miss a 5-point assignment, then the highest you can make in the class is a 95. If you miss 2, the highest you can make is a 90. If you miss 3, the highest you can make is an 85, and so on and so forth. So it's important that you understand that there are a limited number of assignments and they are worth a total of 100 points. So whatever your point total is at a given time, even if your percentage in the course is, let's say you've completed the first 4 assignments, well, that's worth 20 points. But your average in the class would say 100% if you had earned all 20 points. But the reality is that you've earned 20 points toward your final grade of 100 or whatever that ended up being. The point I'm making here is that no assignment is a small assignment, despite the fact that it may have a lower point value. You do not want to lose points on smaller assignments or assignments that feel smaller when you will really need those points when you get to completing your essays and annotated bibliography, where the bulk of the points for the class come from. You want to have a little bit of wiggle room so that if these aren't perfect assignments, you can still achieve the grade that you would like. I've also provided to you the course schedule. I've broken it down by weeks, and you can see what your due dates are. Typically, due dates are going to run on Wednesday and Sunday. Every so often, if there's a discussion board, you will have, usually discussion boards are due, initial posts are due on Wednesday, and then if there's responses to classmates required, those would be due on Friday. But for the most part, we are operating on a Wednesday, Sunday schedule. You will notice that when it comes to finishing up essays, usually the only thing on a given week that's due during an essay week is, in fact, that essay. So I think that's worth noting. That's in order to, A, give you plenty of time to write, but also to give you time where you are focusing on making your writing better. And that might mean scheduling one of those conferences with me or with the Writing Center or some other person to help you get your work as strong as possible. I want to show you also the modules. So you'll notice when you go to our modules page that week one orientation starts here. There are actually two week one modules. There's the content module and then there's the orientation module. And the orientation module is really going to go through all of those policies that I just mentioned, plus additional information. And it will end with an orientation quiz and an introduction discussion where you'll just introduce yourself to the course. Then you will move into the work in this week one that will be due on Sunday, which is really starting to dive into the content. However, as you can see here, you only have access initially to the very first page. The requirement in this class is that you move through each class and then each module in order. So you're not given access to page 2 of the module until you've read through page 1. You don't get access to 3 until you've read through page 2, so on and so forth. And the reason for that is that the content builds on itself. So if you miss something on page 2, you probably aren't going to do well on the assignment at the end of the module. Additionally, you're required to complete the module prior to the module before it. So for the week 1 content module, where we really start getting into active reading and close reading, you don't get access to it until you've completed the orientation module. This will work this way all throughout the term, where you won't gain access week by week until you have completed the previous week's work. It's also worth noting that you will gain access to the next week's work on Thursdays. I generally make those modules go live on Thursday. So if you are trying to work ahead, you will have that available to you to get that work done. Something else I'd like to draw your attention to is a module that will always be open to you, which is the Essay Writer's Toolbox. And in this module, it's just resources for you because this is such a fast-paced class. We don't really have the time to go into all of these skills. And they're also skills that because you passed Comp 1, the assumption is that you have a solid understanding of, at least a C grade level understanding of. So these pages are provided to you as resources where you can watch a video. Then there's additional links to places where you can, see the work in practice. You can see how to create one. You can see a checklist for a thesis statement. Then I have a page in here on topic sentences, and there's additional resources for topic sentences, and so on and so forth. So I wanted to bring your attention to that just so that you know that if you know in Comp 1 you struggled with MLA, perhaps you should check out this MLA page. Or if you're not really sure what a topic sentence is, you should check that out. Or you're not sure how to put together a paragraph properly, you can check out that page. These resources are here simply to help make you feel comfortable as you are working through course content. Again, because this is a 6-week course, I'm certain that it will feel overwhelming at times because it's a lot of content fast. That said, I am here to partner with you, and I want you to have the most successful term possible. So anything I can do to help you, I'm happy to try to accommodate. All you need to do is reach out to me.